morning. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can?
All right. We're going to go ahead and get started here.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. Morning, everyone.
Yep.
This is Matt with Insurance Agency Marketing. Glad you could join us today. And we are going to be soon joined by Jason Goodrich, the National Accounts Senior Manager from EquiTrust. We're glad to have Jason on with us this morning. He's going to be reviewing some of the finer details on some of the new strategies recently introduced by EquiTrust. And we're glad to have him on today. Otherwise, I know we are very good. Glad to have a new week ahead of us with a lot of the changes being relaxed out here in Nebraska, and we're hoping to see that continue on the downward cycle based on some of the restrictions being lessened out there based on the environment we're in. But we do continue to offer some really nice incentives to new producers. I know we've got a great group of programs available to new producers. So we have different levels you can qualify for in the first 180 days of being contracted with the company, and a great way to jumpstart your business and get some nice incentives to go with that. But we do have 100,000 level up to $1 million level. We have a lot of different choices for you out there in the field you can utilize based on your programs. But we do appreciate you having the chance to receive some of these levels. I know business is very difficult right now with some of the things going on, but we do appreciate everything you are sitting at this point, and good ways to get in front of more clients with some of the features we have here with the Boss Radio program, the different mailing systems. We've got some postcard mailings, some seminar systems you can do virtually. So really good combinations there for you. You can qualify for business in the first 180 days. A great incentive for you to get going right away. So we've got that going on. We also have a referred producer program. You can refer agents to IMES, and a great way to earn some additional money based on your referrals. We give you $50 when that referral gets licensed, and then you get 20 basis points on their business they submit. So if you have two $1 million producers that over a year, that's be $2,000 in additional, actually $4,000 in cash putting in your account based on $2 million producers, and a great way to earn some additional money based on those referrals. We also have our marketing and reimbursement program. We reimburse $100 for every $100,000 of premium you send in towards marketing, so you can build up a real nice account based on that. Really nice program we have going there. And we also have that paid out on a quarterly basis. So your market reimbursement is paid out quarterly, and the referred producer program is done the same. So great chance to earn some additional money based on those systems we have. We've got a great support team here at IMES. We've got a great new business team, help you with your business, getting it through the process. And we review your applications for you, make sure everything is complete. And then you go ahead and send that in via electronically or hard copies. And we'll go ahead and get those sent on to the home office. And then we have a great team that follows that business through the process on underwriting, getting everything through the system, making sure the transfers are working out in a timely fashion. We also have a great creative team. I know we have some great individuals that work in that department that can help you out with advertising and getting different systems put together. Maybe you want to redo your website, put together an email blast, maybe do some different programs with clients via social media, and they've got a great system to utilize based on that. We got a great group of marketers in the office on the life and annuity side, and also Medicare. So if you have interest in any of those areas, we'd be glad to help you through those processes. Maybe you need some quotes, maybe need some supplies, whatever you may need. Give the marketing department a call. We'd be glad to help you out with that system. And we have a great website. You can go to our www.imsinc.com. We've got some great quotation devices on there. You can do term quotes. You can do income comparisons. You can get current rates off our website. You can download supplies. You can look at different industry links. Maybe you'll look at AM Best reports on a specific company. We have those links there for you. We've got our current annuity grid on there. We also have our life grid. Everything you need to know is available on that system. So do keep that in mind based on the programs that we do have available. And if you want to get a term quote, you can do a term comparison, and it'll crank out the best rates based on your client's situation. So a nice system to take a look at there. We have our Firelight E app system, and a lot of companies we represent use Firelight. We have it available through a lot of our companies, including EquiTrust, and it's a much easier way to submit business. That way your business typically gets submitted in a complete fashion, less things missed, and a lot of times the software will not let you finalize it until everything has been completed, and a great way to get your business in a timely fashion. That also helps on the processing side. They're not having to read through handwriting and make guesses based on different things. Everything is typed in, and everything is very easy to understand and get sent through the system. I know we're seeing more and more companies coming on board with Firelight, and we see more and more business being submitted through the Firelight system. So definitely a nice program there. As I mentioned, we've got a great creative team here at IMS. We've got a lot of different systems you can utilize through them: website development, social media consulting, redoing your business cards, maybe redoing your business logo. They can help you out with all that information and really help you maximize your investment dollars on advertising and get the best results you can. I know we've seen a lot of agents using their advice and going with the solutions they offer, and really a good program we do have through the creative team. We have started up our wealth management side here. It's been a couple of years ago, and we have a great group of individuals that work on that end of the business, and they do have some good expertise on advice to you as the agent or rep in the field, what things you should look at based on that. They can help you out with getting your Series 65 test material put together, studying for that test and getting all that taken care of. We have seen that side of the business really increase the last couple of years, and I know what the environment we see right now with what's going on in the stock market, I mean, we see a lot of money going to safety, but there is still some interest in the wealth management side. I'm going to launch a quick poll here if you do have interest in getting contacted by our wealth management team. Go ahead and click yes. If you do not have interest, just click no, but we'll have one of our wealth management reps give you a call on that end of it, and they can answer any questions you have on that side. They can help you out with all the licensing, registrations, all that good stuff to really help you get started on that side of it. But that's something you have some interest in. Click off yes. I'd be glad to get that information in your hands, and you can utilize that in the field based on what you're looking at getting accomplished on that side of the market. But I think it's always good to have multiple arrows available for you. I mean, you hate to refer a client to someone else and the client moves in that direction more than in your direction, and you hate to lose business based on that. So I think the more things you can handle on your end, the better off you're going to be in the long run based on that. So definitely keep that in mind. I'm going to leave this open for about another 10 seconds or so. If you do have interest, check off yes. If not, check off no, and we'll go ahead and one of our specialists give you a call on that side of it. I'm going to go ahead and close that up here. We also do our Life and Annuity Academies. We typically do these about once a quarter. Of course, with the environment we're in right now, it's a little bit more difficult to put these on. I'm going to do one in the fall. We'll have to see how that pans out based on some of the rules and regulations on, having groups of people together at that point. But what we do is we typically fly you in, typically either Des Moines or Omaha. It's a 2.5-day meeting we put on. We bring in a lot of good speakers, go over a lot of good sales ideas, that go over both the annuity side and the life side of the market. And we go over a lot of index option opportunities based on what indexes have been doing better than others. With all these new uncapped strategies being introduced these days, we kind of go over some details on those. We also go over some software packages. I know we have a couple of different software programs you can utilize there in the field. Go over some advanced annuity topics, life insurance topics based on large case management, whatever it may be on that side. We'll be going over that. And we always have a good response based on that. I'm going to launch another quick poll on the Life and Annuity Academy. If that's something you have some interest in coming down the road to, we'll keep you on the list as an interested party. We typically bring in between 35 to 45 advisors to those meetings. It's all expense paid. We pay for your lodging, your flights, your transportation in town. Everything is taken care of, so that basically all you have to do is get to the airport or drive into town, and then everything from that point is taken care of. If that's something you have some interest in, just check off yes. We'll be glad to get you on that list, keep you up to date when our next meeting is going to be. So we're going to try to hold one this fall, and then we'll probably kick them off in the full rotation next spring when we're able to, obviously have more and bring more people in at that point. So we'll see how things pan out this year. We are planning on doing at least one here before the end of the year. So something you have some interest in, check off yes. We'll be glad to get you up and running on that. And it's a great way to pick up some sales ideas. We always see a nice boost in sales from the attendees within a couple months of attending the meeting. And it really is a good program we've put together for the agents there in the field. So definitely keep that in mind. I'll give us up another 5 to 10 seconds to get voted on that. And then we'll go ahead and get moving forward here on the webinar itself. Again, get that closed up here. We do a couple different meetings we do for agents and that we do for incentives based on production. I know we have one coming up in March of 2021, and qualification does run here through the end of the year. It takes 3.5 million points to qualify for the trip itself. It's going to be the Secrets in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Very nice location there in Mexico. Of course, we're going to have to look at travel situations at that point to see what's available at that venue, and obviously being able to travel the spring of 2021. We'll see how that pans out. But right now, we are still planning on going to Puerto Vallarta in March of 2021, and 3.5 million points to qualify for that. Then we have a larger qualification, 8.5 million points. It guarantees you a spot, 6.5 million points. So we'll qualify for the trip at the Four Seasons in Punta Mita, Mexico. That'll be an extension to the original trip, and really a nice program we've put together for those two trips. And I know we typically do these about once every 18 months. We do see a great group of agents qualify for these, every year and a half. We typically have right around 60 agents qualify, between 80 depending on the year. But really a nice trip. Great way for you to get in front of other high-producing agents, pick up some ideas from them, and really a relaxing trip one that we take out for about a week based on the trips themselves. So really nice programs there. That's coming up. Qualification does run through the end of this year, and a great chance to get qualified for one of those trips. Once again, we do have Jason Goodrich joining us here. I'm going to go ahead and switch controls to Jason. And Jason Goodrich, as I mentioned, is the National Accounts Senior Manager with EquiTrust. We appreciate Jason spending some time with us this morning. He's going to be going over a lot of the new programs that EquiTrust has to offer. On the index side, they've got some great new strategies they've introduced here recently, and he'll be discussing that along with some of the other parts of their portfolio that I know that EquiTrust has seen a nice spike in business the last couple months, and they're doing a great job on getting all that through the process, and they've got some very competitive products right now. So welcome aboard, Jason. Glad you could join us today.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. Good morning, everyone. First off, just let me thank everyone for taking time today to join this webinar, which is going to focus on the 4 index annuities with EquiTrust, as well as our MYGA and a traditional fixed annuity you may or may not be familiar with. It's, I think, a really good alternative to a MYGA or a CD. Obviously, we're in some unprecedented times here with a lot of unknowns right now, so I really do appreciate you joining me this morning. What I plan to do with the webinar is first talk about some of the changes we've made recently to help you guys make doing business with us a little bit easier in the current environment. I'm also, as Matt mentioned, going to talk about the 2 new indices we had launched just about 2 months ago now, I think. The advantages to them, not only in this environment, but in any environment moving forward. I believe we have some great fixed index annuity products, but the addition of these strategies will really help in the long-term accumulation on our products. So we'll talk about that. I'll walk through the products, mainly the 4 index products at a pretty high level, pointing out a few of the niches we have with each one, especially in the current environment. And like I mentioned, talk about the fixed products just a little bit. I'll try to keep this to 20, 25 minutes or so, and then leave some time at the end if there's any questions. Lastly, let me just thank all the great folks over at IMES. They're a great family-oriented organization and have been a great partner to EquiTrust since the very beginning. Really appreciate the relationship with them and all they've done for EquiTrust over the years. With that, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first off, before I get into like the products and stuff, I do want to talk about a couple of changes we made with the COVID-19 and all that stuff going on. One of the big things we did is we changed our procedure on meeting clients face-to-face. We used to require that on all applications. We no longer do. So we do have a disclosure form if you're going to do the sale virtually with the client, either over the phone or via Skype or something like that. We do allow that. There's a disclosure form you just need to complete. And I'd say about 25% of our business coming in now is through virtual sales. So it's a very high percentage. And with us, you can do it either over the phone or via Skype. If you do it over the phone, it has to be an existing client that you've worked with before. If it's a new client you haven't worked with, then you will need to do it through video of some sort. But you just select that on the disclosure form. So that's just part of our application pack and something we've done to hopefully make doing business with us easier in this current environment. Now, Matt had mentioned Firelight, and IMES does have Firelight, and they do have EquiTrust on their platform. So obviously we also have Firelight. I won't go into it much. What I'll say is if you haven't tried it, it really does speed things up. Not only does it get stuff to us faster, it comes to us immediately once you complete it, but also the good order ratio is much, much, much improved. So the overall process of speeding up, getting the case issued, getting transfer paperwork out, get commission paid is much faster than paper applications. And I think once you do it once or twice, it becomes pretty simple for you to do. It's just a matter of giving it a try. So we do have Firelight available. Obviously, that's a big thing too with the virtual sales process, is using the application process. Okay, products. If you're not familiar with EquiTrust, I think one thing you'll find out, and kind of something we've done in our 17 years of existence, is we try to keep things very simple, right? We have to be You got to be competitive too, but we try to keep things as clean and simple as possible. Kind of always been our motto. And we basically have three major niches, I would say, on the index side. Number one is bonus products. And that's what you see in front of you now is our two premium bonus products. We've always kind of been a leader in that space with upfront premium bonuses. They're even better now with the new indexes that we're going to talk about to even help these products. Not only do you have an upfront bonus, but you have a lot of accumulation potential too, plus the bonus. So we'll talk about that. So it's kind of been one big niche with this. The second one is accumulation. The last 2 years, we've been really strong on the non-bonus straight accumulation products. The very plain Jane, clean and simple product that has a lot of growth potential. Then the third niche I'd say is return of premium. I'll talk about this too, but our Market 10 bonus product has a return of premium guarantee on it. It's one of only a couple of return of premium products in the industry that are added at no fee and no cost, just part of the product. So we'll talk about that too. So really the three kind of niches are premium bonuses, number one, straight accumulation, number two, and return of premium, number three. Okay, let's touch on the indexes a little bit. I'm not going to get too deep into these two new indices. I'll talk about them on a fairly high level, but there is more information we can send you if you need it. Both of these indices have their own website that you can go to, and there's videos. You can also go to our website and you can watch a video on each one, a client video. But the first one is called the Barclays Focus 50. This is exclusive to EquiTrust. Okay, so it's on all four of our index annuities, and it's only on EquiTrust index annuities. The basics with this is it really just uses a couple different things for the index. Number one is it uses the 50 lowest volatility stocks. Okay, this uses that in combination with 4 different lengths of U.S. Treasuries: a 2-year, a 5-year, a 10-year, and a 30-year. So very simple to understand. And one of the things I really like about it, especially in the current environment, is when you look at the 50 lowest volatility stocks, these are brand names. Right? These are companies your clients are going to know. These are what I call big, boring companies, big, boring stocks, which big, boring stocks are really attractive right now. Just to give you an example of the latest 50 stocks that were part of this, some of them included like Campbell Soup, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Dollar General, Costco, Johnson & Johnson, Walmart, Merck, right? So big boring companies that you know and that you're familiar with. I think that's been a huge advantage with those ones. So just does that in combination with those treasuries. So very clean, very simple to understand, and has performed very well, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay, the other one we have is not exclusive to EquiTrust. It's called the S&P Mark V. You may be familiar with this one. It is available on, I know 2 or 3 other insurance carriers have this on their annuity products as well. Also very simple, also performed very well. This one just uses kind of 3 different components. Number one, well, it uses equities, commodities, and fixed income. For equities, it uses the S&P 500, which obviously most people are familiar with. For commodities, it uses gold, and gold is a great hedge against inflation. That's why it uses gold. And number 3 is just a 10-year treasury. Right, so it just uses those components, the S&P 500, the gold, and the treasury. And like I said, it's performed very well, very simple to understand as far as volatility control indexes go. And as I'll show you in a minute, volatility control indexes in the current environment look very attractive. And I'll show you that right here. What this chart shows you is it shows the S&P 500, the Barclays 50, which we just talked about, and the S&P Mark 5, which we just talked about. The purplish or light purplish line going up and down all over the place, that is the S&P 500 since the coronavirus outbreak started in the U.S. on March 10th. So you can see the volatility, how much up and down it's been. The other two represent the Barclays and the Mark 5. And that's why these work so well. You can see how steady they stayed through all this volatility, right? Very steady. And actually, both of those are up year to date. I'll show you that in a second, but they're both up year to date, even with all that volatility. I think it's just a nice little chart that kind of shows you the smooth performance of a volatility control index and why it makes sense to use it, or at least to diversify with it within a fixed index annuity. Okay, here's some of the returns between the 3, the S&P 500, the Barclays Focus 50, and the S&P Mark 5. I'm going to grab my little highlighter here, or my laser pointer, just to kind of show you some things. So you can see this is the S&P 500 performance since 2004, Barclays since 2004, S&P Mark 5 since 2004. What I want to show you down here is these couple things, the annualized. So you can see the annualized return of the S&P 500 since 2004, 6.89. The Barclays is 5.79. The S&P Mark 5 is 5.17. So actually the S&P 500 has the best annualized performance since 2004. However, one thing to keep in mind is these numbers are not assuming any sort of caps or participation rates. As you know, any index strategy with the S&P 500 is going to have a cap or a participation rate. So the actual performance would be lower than this, maybe quite a bit lower than this. Whereas with the Barclays and Mark 5, a lot of times you have a 100% participation rate or even higher. And I'll show you that in a second. So these numbers are more true of the actual performance if a participation rate would have been applied. So very strong performance since 2004. And as I mentioned a little bit ago, just year to date, you can see the S&P 500 as of June 15th is down just about 6%. So it's come back quite a bit, but still down about 6% year to date, where the Barclays Focus 50 and S&P Mark 5 are both up. Actually, the Mark 5's up over 4% year to date, even with all that volatility and the S&P being down. And the Barclays isn't up much, but it is up, right? It's up 0.78%. I think that's one of the advantages, obviously, in this environment or any environment to using these strategies. What this chart shows, there are a lot of numbers on here, but mainly what this is going to show is all of our products, here's all of our products with the Barclays, what the participation rate currently is. I'll show you this again, and then shows you some of the stuff you would see on the illustration. Excuse me. So for the Barclays Focus 50, we'll kind of focus on this column, the last 10 years. If you run an illustration on our index annuities, this is what it's going to illustrate at. This is the rate it's going to use. So with the market power bonus, it's going to illustrate at 5.94%, even with that 75% par rate. The market 10 at 5.16, the market value at 7.9, and the market 7 at 7.12. So you can see a lot of growth potential in that product with that strategy. That's the 1 year. We also have a 2-year point-to-point on it with higher participation rates. So you can see it's 100% par rate instead of 75 when you choose the 2-year option. And over here, you see higher illustrated rates, even as high as over 10% illustrated rate on the market value. Now, obviously, what these illustrated rates are, does not predict how it's going to do, but it does give you an idea over time how it would have performed with the current rates that it has. And the bottom section here is the S&P Mark 5, which we only have on 2 products, the market value and the market 7. You can see both participation rates are over 100% on that. And that's a 1-year strategy. Last 10 years, market value illustrated rate 7%, 6.4 on the market 7. So you can see the growth potential within our index annuities with these strategies. Plus, we have very attractive rates on the S&P 500 too, which I'll show you in a second.
Yeah, and what I like about that last chart there is, if you go back to that chart, you can see there's not much difference in the best 10 and the worst 10 in the S&P Mark 5. Those numbers are pretty close.
Yeah, that's what you get with a vol control index. You get very steady. I mean, even with the Barclays, there's not a huge difference, between the best 10 and worst 10.
Yeah, and those numbers show pretty well. I mean, even in the worst years, you're still making above 5 most of the time.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point, Matt.
Good.
Okay, with that, let's talk about the products, the 4 index annuities. I'll start with the market power bonus, which really is the flagship, product of EquiTrust. It's the first product index annuity we ever rolled out. In 2004, I believe, is when it came out. It has been our #1 seller every year since then, except for 1 year. So it's lasted the test of time. Here's some main features on. I'll point out a couple things on this product. Main thing with it, as we talked about at the beginning, is it's a 10% premium bonus. Okay. Now, if you're not familiar with the EquiTrust premium bonuses, ours are all up front. So there's no vesting schedule, there's no recapture or surrender charges, anything like that. Right? So if they put $100,000 in, day one, they have $110,000. If they pass away a month later, their beneficiary is going to get the $110,000. If they surrender it, the account value will still be $110,000 minus the surrender charge. Okay, so there's no vesting or anything. It's a true, real upfront premium bonus, part of their value immediately. The other thing about it is there's two different lengths of it, right? Depending on what state you're in. It's either 14 years or it's 10 years. There's 15 states where the product's only 10 years in. And in those states, it still has a 10% premium bonus. So in every state, it's a 10% premium bonus. The only difference is if it's a 10-year state, is the commission's a little less, okay? It's a 7% commission in the 10-year states. It's a 14-year, it's an 8% commission in the 14-year states. We also offer a 1% trail commission, option C on all of our products, and that would be for both of them. It'd be a 1% trail option if you decide to go that route. Who it's appropriate for, and I'm going to talk more about this, but obviously it's appropriate for somebody that would be that would benefit from an upfront premium bonus, that would benefit from an early boost in their contract value. Okay, I'll talk about that in a second, though. Let's take a look at the rates on this, and I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but for this presentation, I am only talking about the non-income rider. Okay, we do have income riders on all of our index annuities, but just due to time and things like that, for this presentation, I'm going to focus on non-income rider. So when you see these rates, these are assuming they don't elect an income rider. Okay, and you see them all here. Point-to-point caps 4% on the S&P. Then down here, these are the Barclays strategy. The 1 year is a 75% par. The 2 year has a 100% par. And going back a couple slides, the illustrated rate for the 75% par is 5.94%, right? So keep in mind, they get that 10% bonus up front, plus they're looking at almost a 6% illustrated rate moving forward on that. On the 2 year, the annualized illustrated rate is 7.44. Once again, you get the 10% bonus up front. And the other thing I want to mention about these strategies is renewal rates. Obviously, renewal rates could be an issue sometimes for people. It's a very, very important thing, I think, even up front during the sales process. One great thing about the Barclays strategy is we have fixed option costs. What that means is once we issue a policy, our option budget's not really going to change for the life of that contract. Okay, the cost of the options will not really change for the life of that contract. What that means is the renewal rates shouldn't change either. So that 75% you see there in year one should stay the same throughout at least most of the life of the contract. It's not guaranteed, but we have a good track history with this. For example, we had a strategy called the Dynamo. It was with Goldman Sachs. It worked very much like the Barclays Focus 50 as far as a renewal rate, as far as renewal rates. And I checked with our actuaries on that. And since we rolled that strategy out many years ago, we've had 567 renewal rates declared. Okay, 567. We've had 0 decreases. So the 567 renewal rates, never once has it went down. Okay, so I think that tells you a lot, and that's how this should work with the Focus 50 as well. You should not see really any changes at renewal for your clients. Okay. With the premium bonus, one thing I hear a lot is that, premium bonuses don't make sense because a non-premium bonus product with higher rates is always going to eventually pass the premium bonus product, right? I think there's a misconception that a non-bonus product is always better than a bonus product, and I don't think that's the case at all. I think sometimes it is, right? In some cases it is, which is why we have both products. Now let me kind of walk through a couple of examples here. What this chart shows, if you look over here on the right, I'm just showing an index annuity with a 10% bonus and a 3% cap versus an index annuity with no bonus and a 5% cap, just to kind of illustrate it. Then up here, you can see I'm showing the best 10-year period over the last 20 years. So this is the best performing period of the S&P 500. So what you see here is the bonus obviously is immediately better, right, until about year 7. And at that point, the non-bonus product does pass it up, right, during the best 10-year period. So in the early years, the bonus product was better. In the later years, the non-bonus product was better, which I think often, what a lot of people think will happen. However, I will say this too, we have a 4% cap on our 10% bonus product. So if it was a 4% cap, it would actually take 14 years, right? So if I change this just a 4 like it is, it would take 14 years for the non-bonus product to catch up, which is the length of the surrender charge on the bonus product. So totally would make a lot of sense in that example to use a premium bonus product. Same example here, except I'm going to take the worst 10-year period. instead of the best. And once again, I'm using the 3% versus 5%. In this example, it takes 14 years for the non-bonus product to catch the bonus product, right, in the worst 10-year period. Once again, though, what if I used a 4% cap, which we currently have? In that case, it would have actually taken 25 years for a non-bonus index annuity to catch the 10% bonus index annuity, right? So I think that, and it's really driven by low interest rate environments, right? So it makes a lot of sense to look at a premium bonus product in these examples. So when does it make sense, kind of breaking all this down? Well, I think if the client has a short time horizon before they need to access the funds, right? We have people that use this as a wealth transfer product, right? Maybe they're uninsurable, can't get life insurance. They use this for the premium bonus immediately, right? So wealth transfer. Number two, annuitization. If you're doing some sort of laddering strategy or something like that, could make sense, for an annuitization, is you can annuitize this after the 5th year, and with a premium bonus after year 5, you're probably going to be higher than a non-premium bonus product. And number 3 is the income rider. Obviously, it helps an income rider to get a boost up front with the premium bonus. When else does it make sense? How about 10% penalty-free withdrawals? I know I've talked to a lot of people that instead of using an income rider or whatever, they may use just the 10% free withdrawals as a bridge to Social Security. Right? They're going to turn on Social Security at 70 or whatever. They may take free withdrawals for 5 years and then turn on their Social Security. Well, obviously, with the premium bonus product, your account values are higher in the early years, so your free withdrawals are going to be higher in the early years too. Another one's recovering from an underperforming product. Maybe they're in the market and losing money. Maybe they're in an annuity with really low renewal rates. Maybe they're just not earning anything. Maybe they're in a strategy where the product just hasn't performed how it was illustrated. This is a good way to make up. Obviously, the bonus is a good way to make up for some of that loss or some of that low growth with the premium bonus. The last two I think are pretty big now. Low index performance, right? It doesn't matter how high your caps are or how high your participation rates are if the index isn't performing. If you have a 100% participation rate or a 70% participation rate, it's the same result if the return is 0% in the market, right? So a premium bonus in those cases is guaranteed, right? They're going to get that premium bonus if they buy this product. And the last one is low interest rates, something we see now. I think it's big now when the interest rates are, the lower the interest rates are, the more premium bonus makes sense. So I think it's just a huge opportunity right now with premium bonus products. I think it's something a lot of clients are looking for. And then the addition of these new indices to our premium bonus products to add a growth element to it even after the bonus has just been huge for us. So I hope you'll take a look at it. Okay, that's the market power bonus with the 10% bonus product. The other bonus product I mentioned is the market 10 bonus. A couple key features on this. Number one, 6% premium bonus on any premiums added in the first 5 years. No rolling surrender charge. Okay, so if they add money in year 5, they'll get a 6% bonus on that money, and there'll only be 5 years left of surrender charge on that money. Okay, so this is a great idea if they're going to consolidate products maybe, or they're going to start it and add to it. You can start it with as little as $5,000 qualified money too. The other big thing with it, return of premium rider. I mentioned this earlier, but this is on every market 10 bonus we issue, we'll have a return of premium on a guaranteed, right? There's no fee for that. Basically what that means is anytime they surrender it, they're guaranteed, worst case, to get all their money back. So if they put $100,000 in, something happens unexpected 6 months down the road, they're guaranteed to get $100,000 minimum back. Okay, so it's a great feature for that person that just needs that peace of mind, right? Obviously, they should have an emergency fund. It shouldn't be sold as some liquid account, right? But for somebody where an index annuity makes sense for them, but they can't get past the mental block of a surrender charge or what if something unexpected happens, this is a great product to pivot to, I think, as it gives them that built-in guarantee of return of premium. Commission's 6% at all issue ages, okay? I talked about some of this stuff, but really it's a peace of mind, number one. And number two, I think it's a great way to consolidate financial resources. If they want to consolidate different products or CDs or something in the one vehicle. Rates on net are a little bit lower than on the market power. And the reason for that is because of the internal cost of the return of premium. So you have a 3.5% point-to-point cap. And then going back down to here, you can see that Barclays is at 65 on the 1 year, 85 on the 2 year. From an illustration perspective, that 65 illustrates at 5.16, and the 2-year illustrates annually at 6.36. So still a lot of growth potential in this, plus the 6% bonus, plus that underlying guarantee of return of premium. Okay, those are the 2 bonus products. Now let me touch on the 2 non-bonus products. What we refer to as our accumulation workhorses. These are really built just for accumulation, and they, from an index annuity perspective, they're about as simple and as plain Jane as it can get. Okay, this is just a 10-year product, issues to age 80. Everything's right here, rates and caps. You put everything into the rates and caps. Street level commission is 7% all the way up to age 80. We don't reduce commission on that. Basically, who's looking for this? Somebody that wants long-term growth. Going back to my bonus versus non-bonus slides, somebody that thinks that the market's going to grow a lot. Obviously, if you don't feel like the market's going to do a lot, it might be better to be in a bonus product. If you feel like over the next 10 years there's going to be a lot of growth, then it may be better to do a non-bonus product. And once again, it's all in the rates. We have a 5% point-to-point cap. We have a lot of people that use the point-to-point participation rate on this, which is 35%. Once again, if you think the S&P is going to go up a lot, then that could make sense. I'm a proponent of diversifying between a bunch of the strategies. I think that's kind of the best route to go, but obviously it's up to you and your clients. So the Focus 50 on this has 100% par in the 1 year, which is a 7.9 illustrated rate. The 2 years, 140% par, which is a 10.24 illustrated rate. And then this one has the Mark 5, which has 110% par, which if you run an illustration, will illustrate a little over 7%. One thing that I'd like to mention too about this that I think separates us from a lot of the competition is as you can see, we have many crediting options, but they're all very competitive too. So we don't subsidize the strategy, so we won't sacrifice the return or the potential on one strategy to subsidize another strategy. Okay. What that does is it helps you up front from a diversification standpoint, but I think it's really big at renewal. Right. So when you renewal next year with your client, we're going to be competitive in all the strategies. So depending on where the market is, what's performing, this and that, you can reallocate to a different strategy. You're not stuck in one strategy for the life of the contract, one competitive strategy. So I think that's something that does separate us. And then another thing that I think separates us is our renewal rate integrity. We make all of our renewal rates available on our website. So you can go into our website, you can put in any issue date of any of our index annuities, and it will tell you what it issued at and what it renewed at every year. Okay. Renewal rates aren't perfect. They go up, they go down. What I can tell you is we take a lot of integrity in it, and we don't subsidize, like I said, or we don't do artificial first year rates, right? So what we try to do is keep the same option budget for that client throughout the life of the contract. So whatever money we had up front to buy a cap for that client on the product, we try to keep that same amount of money for next year to buy a cap. Now, next year, the option cost might be higher, so we might not be able to buy as high of a cap, or they may be lower, so we can buy a higher cap. But the point is, we try to be fair to that client and give them the same amount of money every year to buy that cap or participation rate. So we do take a lot of integrity in it. We do have this piece that you see in front of you on our website. And like I said, you can go out to the website and view any of our renewal rate history. Okay, Market 7, this is our other accumulation product, very similar to the Market 10. The main difference is it is a 7-year design. Okay, it issues up to age 85. So this is our only product that goes to age 85 on the index portfolio. Okay, commission's 5.5%, but there are some reductions on this, as you can see here. That's street level commission. And one added benefit to this I really like is this guaranteed accumulation value benefit of 107%. Okay. What that means is at the end of the 7 years, if it hasn't grown 107%, then we'll raise the value up to that. Okay, so if they put in $100,000, at the end of 7 years, their account value is $106,000 because the market hasn't performed, we will automatically raise that up to $107,000 at that point. Okay, it's just a one-time look at the contract value. If it hasn't grown that 7%, then we raise it up to that. So basically, it works out to a 1% simple interest rate guarantee for the client. So that's a nice little feature, especially as like a CD alternative, which we get a lot of CD type business in here. Makes a lot of sense for that. And also, with this and the last one, I'll go back to the commission earlier that I mentioned, the trail commission. These also have a 1% trail commission. We do get a lot of elections for the trail commission on the Market 7 and the Market Value, right? They're both flexible premium products too. Okay, the rates on it, a little bit lower than the Market Value, 4.75 on the point-to-point. S&P, 30% par for the par rate on the S&P. Then down here, the Focus 50 is at 90, right, which is a 7.12 illustrated rate, 125 on the 2-year, which is over a 9% illustrated rate. And then the Mark 5, 100% par, which illustrates a 6.43. Okay, that's all for the index. I want to touch just briefly on what we have on the fixed side. We've been very competitive on the fixed side lately. Our rates did recently go down, but I think we're still competitive. We have 3 fixed products. Certainty Select, which is a MYGA. Choice 4, which is a traditional fixed annuity and a good alternative to a MYGA. And then the Confidence Income, which is a SPIA. I'm not going to touch any more on the SPIA other than to say we are very competitive on SPIAs. So if you ever run a SPIA business, I encourage you to look at it because we're really competitive, especially on the period certains. And we also pay full commission on all SPIAs. So even if you do a 5-year period certain SPIA with us, we still pay 3% commission. And we're very competitive, usually in the top 3 or 4. Well, let me touch on the other 2 fixed products. This is a Certainty Select. These are just what the current rates are since we've changed them. Just a 3, 5, 6, 8, 10-year period. Commission on these, the 3 years 2%. The other 4, the commission is 3%. Okay. There's a reduction. These go up to age 90, and there is a reduction at the older ages. That's just our MYGA product. I do want to spend a little more time and talk about the Choice 4 product. A couple of highlights here. Number one, it's a traditional fixed annuity. You don't see a lot of these anymore, right? So it has a declared rate that can change from year to year. There are 4 variations, which I'll talk about. It is a 2% minimum guarantee, right? So the rate will never go below 2%. It's full account value at death, and you can see it commission is 5.5%, 0 to 80, okay? Well, let me break it down a little bit for you because I know it's a lot of information. There's 4 different variations. I'm going to skip the first 3, okay? I'm going to talk about the 4th one because this is where 90 to 95% of our business goes. This is just an option on the application. It's called the Liquidity MBA option. If you choose this, the client gets a 6-year annuity. They get a 1.5% premium bonus. They get a base rate of 2.6%. Basically, that works out to a 4.14% first-year effective yield. The minimum's 2, gets 10% free withdrawals, and does have an MBA. Okay, so 1.5% bonus, 2.6 rate, 6-year walk-away product. 5.5% commission with a 6-year product. Now, I mentioned it's a good MYGA alternative, and let me kind of show you why we get a lot of that business. Number one, you see it's 6 years, has a 2.6 base rate. It does have a bonus. Like I mentioned, a lot of, I don't know if I guess any MYGAs that have a premium bonus, so they do get a little boost up front. The result of that is a higher yield in the first year. Has 10% penalty-free withdrawals. A lot of MYGAs, if they have withdrawals at all, are usually only interest only. So that's kind of an advantage of where MYGAs with this, they can get 10% free out each year. We have really strong renewal rates, as I mentioned earlier. We also have them on the Choice 4 on our website. I won't go into that. This is a biggie, I think, end of term. What I mean by that is, as you know, with most MYGAs, at the end of their term, there's a 30-day window. And if for some reason you miss that, or the client misses that, or what have you, and it renews, you're kind of out of luck in most cases. This does not have that. So with this, at the end of 6 years, there is no 30-day window. So at the end of 6 years, it's still earning whatever the current rate is, but not lower than 2. It's still tax deferred. So at that point, basically what you have is a tax deferred money market account earning at least 2%, completely liquid. And a lot of people use it that way, as a liquid account at the end of 6 years. And then the commission obviously is a lot better than what you would see on a typical MYGA product. It's 5.5% commission even on the 6-year product. Okay, so I encourage you to take a look at that if you haven't. I see the company's strength here, very strong. We are B+ rated, but the financials are very strong. You see over $20 billion in assets, 92% portfolio investment grade. See the RBC, very strong at 367%, so well over what's required. Same with solvency, over 106. So very financially strong company. I will say everything we're doing internally and have been doing internally is to get that A rating back with AM Best. So that is the number one goal of the company, and hopefully this year's our year because we're working hard at it. Okay, just to summarize a little bit, as I mentioned, with EquiTrust, what you're going to get is very simple products and procedures. We are a small company. We try to keep things as simple as we can, but also competitive. We're one of the few that have a return of premium product. It's approved in most states. It's just a day one return of premium guarantee for your clients. We talked a lot about the true 10% bonus product. Bonus upfront, no recapture of the surrender charges, no vesting schedule, just a true cash bonus. The two new indices have really added an accumulation element to our products. We were strong there before, but we're even stronger now with the addition of the two new indices. We talked a lot about renewal rate history. I think that's very important for the long-term performance of a product is strong renewal rate history, which we have a good track history on. And we're just talking about the fixed products. We're competitive there too with the fixed products and the SPIA. With that, I appreciate everybody joining today. That's all I have. I'll pass it back to Matt to see if he or anybody has any questions. I'd be happy to answer.
Hey, thanks a lot, Jason. Great job. I know I did have a couple questions come up. Do you know on the Mark V if they include the S&P dividends on that return, or they go without the dividends?
I believe, pretty sure I'm looking right now at something. I think it's without dividends.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's without dividends, Matt, but I can verify and let you know on that.
Yeah, you can shoot me an email. That'd be great. And then on the choice 4, the client at the end of the time period, which is to just obviously leave the money there, but if they wish to reinvest it, are they able to switch it to a different account, or does it need to stay in the choice 4?
You mean internally?
Internally.
Yeah, that's a good question. As of today, they would not have that option, but I can tell you we are actively working on an internal exchange program.
Okay.
That I feel fairly confident will be out this year sometime. So obviously we'll be in 6 years. So, and that would be something that they would be able to do under the new program we're working on, is at the end of the term, they would be able to internally exchange it to something else for full commission. So right now, no, but I think that'll change soon.
Okay, that sounds good. And then if you guys do end up changing rates, does EquiTrust typically allow a 60-day holding period for exchanges?
Yeah. So we go from, as long as the app's received before the rate change in our office, it's got to be received in our office before the change. We'll hold 60 days from the date the app's received for the money to come.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds good. And yeah, I mean, right now EquiTrust rates are outstanding, and with the indexed rates being held up higher, with those par rates on those uncapped strategies, those are looking really good. And we're hoping to see those hold for a few more weeks. But obviously, with the environment we're in right now, the low interest rate environment, we wouldn't be surprised to see those drop down the road. So now's the time to get business into EquiTrust. But otherwise, appreciate your time this afternoon, actually this morning, Jason. And I will be calling everyone that was on the meeting today to go over further details with you. Any questions you may have, we'll go ahead and send you out some additional details on EquiTrust. And for those of you that are not licensed with the company, we'll go ahead and send licensing forms out also. But I appreciate everybody being on this morning. I know it's been pretty hectic out there in the field the last number of months. Appreciate you spending some time with us today. We look forward to helping you out with any cases that come up in the next few weeks. Otherwise, everyone have a great summer coming up, and we'll look forward to better times ahead regarding the environment we're in. But otherwise, everyone have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, Jason.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye now.